Welcome back. We are here to talk about Tell Me Why, the new game from Don't Nod. I'm joined by Florent.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you to have us here.
First off, very exciting, new Don't Nod games. I love your studio's work, so I'm super happy to see some more.
Thank you.
This is a very intriguing prospect. We've seen a little bit of the trailer, we've learned a little bit of the story, pieced some things together, but I'd love you to talk about exactly what we're getting up to, who these characters are, and what Tell Me Why is going to be about.
So Tell Me Why tells the story of Tyler and Allison, Ronan, two twins joining after 10 years of separation, after an event in the past has separated them, and they come back together to learn more about what happened to them 10 years ago.
Okay.
So they are joining to make this investigation, and our twins are linked by a strong and supernatural bond.
Okay.
So that's their twinsy power that connects them and give them the ability to feel what the other feels, and share their memories also. That allows them to interact with the memories of the past.
Oh, so they're physically interacting with
Yeah,
the
they can physically recall these memories, and see them like in the world.
Okay.
So we see a little bit of that in the trailer, and that allows them to investigate on their past. And eventually, sometimes they will have diverging memories, because that's why we have two different main characters, two lead characters, because it's a notion of perspective, obviously, and they get to choose which of the version they decide to believe, and that will have an impact on the story.
Oh wow, okay, so I know you guys are describing this as a narrative adventure, which is something that is familiar to players of your past games. Can we expect something similar in mechanics to Life is Strange in that way?
Yeah, so we call the Tell Me Why a narrative adventure game. So it's a very accessible game, very simple mechanics, so classical adventure mechanics, like exploring the world, interacting with the world or the characters. You have different characters that you can talk to. And your twins, obviously, that you can talk to your twin. And that's the main mechanics, like very simple mechanics, because we want the player to be at ease with playing the game, and we want the game to be accessible to a large audience, because we tell a story with strong characters, so we don't need the players, or don't want the players to be challenged by the mechanics. And we have this strong mechanic, the bond, what we call the bond, which is the twins link, the twins connection, that allows them to review their memories, review their past, and also exchange their thoughts and feelings.
Cool.
That's the key mechanic that we have in the game.
So it is more about the kind of navigating those connections between the twins. That's your principal interaction.
Yeah, exactly. Because the story takes place in two time periods. Obviously, the investigation of the twins when they rejoin 10 years after. So that's the main storyline. And we also relive moments of the past as flashbacks, or using the bond to recall the memories in present time.
Right. Gotcha.
That's the main mechanic.
And it's a 3-part episodic game.
Yes, there are 3 chapters coming in 2020, summer 2020. We cannot reveal the dates yet.
Of course.
But yeah, that's...
But you have said specifically this is all out in summer, so we're thinking more weeks between episodes rather than months in that case?
Yeah, more weeks rather than months, because we heard also from the feedback from our fans and the frustration that comes from waiting a long period of time. So we want to have a reliable schedule, so weeks rather than months, but we don't have the dates yet.
Right, and is the idea that it will all be developed prior to the first release date, or is it still in active development between those releases?
It's still an active development, yeah.
Okay, and what keeps drawing you back to the episodic structure? It's something that was very popular a few years ago, but it really feels like you guys are the ones who are still championing that structure.
That's a good question. I think, we are telling stories, and we always look for the best scenario or the best structure to develop the stories. You've seen we have 3 chapters in this game. Other games like Life is Strange or competitors have 5 or more. So I wouldn't say there is a structure, like a defined structure that needs to happen.
Right.
I think it's more up to the story you're telling. And for this story, it made a lot of sense to have 3 chapters. That was the best way to unfold the stories. So we believe it's great for the audience, and it's also good for us to keep the player entertained and waiting for the next episode. I think that's the best structure for us.
Nice. And just before we wrap up, I'd love to talk a bit about, this fits into Xbox's wider gaming for everyone initiative, this idea of a bit more social inclusion and socially conscious gaming, and obviously we've already seen this as one of gaming's first major transgender main characters.
Yes.
And how did you come to that position of wanting to tell that story, and are you working with the trans community to tell that story?
Yes, so that the game has started like 2 years ago, so it's already a long journey.
Yeah.
And at first, at the very beginning of the concept, the fact that Tyler, one of our lead character, is a transgender man, was not part of the concept. That's something that came up as we iterated on the story, on the characters, and kept developing these ideas. And we wanted, we're telling a twin story. Identical twin stories, so they are really connected, but we wanted them to be unique and likable, and have their unique character. And as we developed it, we came with this idea, and we thought it was what we wanted to tell. It was the story that would touch players and be the story that we would like to tell. So throughout this process, once it was clear for us that we wanted to represent a transgender character, we made a lot of research, because that's a big thing, for in games.
Absolutely.
And in other medias as well. So we did partner with GLAD. GLAD is the Gay and Lesbian Association Against Defamation. It's an association in LA, and they help us a lot throughout the process to understand the fears and hopes of this community, to understand the history also of, of the evolution of the acceptation of transgender people in society. So that was a real help for us. Really, it was great to develop the character, to make sure that we would be respectful of the community. We would end up also with an authentic character, because we're here for authenticity. We want to create characters that are believable, that are likable also for our players, because the games have this unique ability, to put yourself in the shoes of someone else and to live as them, to connect with them, to identify with them. So that's what we wanted to do, and we hope that people will like our characters like we do.
Yeah.
We love both of the twins, Tyler and Allison. They are great characters, and we are super excited for the players to know them.
Yeah. That's awesome to hear. I'm super excited to play the game, man. I cannot wait. Summer 2020. It's a little while, but I can wait. We've got plenty more for you from X019, so keep it locked to IGN.